Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our first session for the topic real functions. Going to be very important topic for your school exams as well as for any engineering entrance exams, right? So you need to understand this topic thoroughly. Okay, so let's begin the topic functions. Before we proceed for functions, I would just like to discuss over here what are functions. See, functions are a special type of relationship that is defined from one set to other or between two sets we can say, right? So before we proceed for functions, we should discuss various types of sets. So let's begin the session. So friends, the functions are specific types of relations which are defined from different sets onto the other sets. So before we discuss the functions in details, first of all, let's discuss various types of sets. Uh, First of all, we take natural numbers. You might be knowing about natural numbers, the numbers that occur in nature, right? The whole numbers except zero, right? The full numbers you can say, no fractions, no decimals are there. The set of natural numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till infinity you go on, right? Then even numbers you must be knowing, the numbers which are ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, okay? The odd numbers, the numbers which are ending in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So these are odd numbers. Okay. After that, prime numbers. What are prime numbers? The natural numbers greater than 1 which is divisible by 1 and itself are called prime numbers. Right. That means a number is known to be a prime number if it doesn't have any other factor except number 1 and itself. Suppose 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. You can very well say that these numbers, say 2, 3, 5, they don't have any other factor. If I talk about 5, 5 has just two factors, that is 1 and 5, only two factors, right? Similarly for 7, there are two factors only, 1 and 7. For 11, there are two factors only, 1 and 11, right? Similarly, a special number 2 is there. In the entire series of prime number, there is one single even number that is a prime number, that is number 2. So 2 is a special number. Okay. Apart from all these prime numbers, the remaining numbers are composite numbers. Okay. So composite numbers, if we differentiate between prime numbers and composite numbers, that means what is happening over here? All the composite numbers have at least one other factor except number 1 and the number itself. If I talk about 6, so how many factors 6 has? It's 1, 2, 3 and 6. So except 6 and 1, it has two other factors. That means 6 is a composite number. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about maybe 25, so what are the factors? It's 1, 5 and 25. That means we have one extra factors apart from 1 and the number itself for 25, that is 5. That means 25 is a composite number. So you got the difference between prime numbers and composite numbers. Prime numbers always have exactly two factors, that is number 1 and the number itself, and composite numbers will be having at least three factors. Okay. Now friends, next in the series is whole numbers. See, we have just discussed about natural numbers. Now what is the set of whole numbers? All the elements of natural numbers are there in the set of whole numbers that you can see. One element is extra, that is 0. Right? So that is the only difference between natural numbers and whole numbers. That is number 0. It is the element that is part of whole numbers, but it is not a part of natural numbers. Right? So we can very well say that natural numbers, the set of natural number is subset of whole numbers. That means all the elements of natural numbers are there in the set of whole numbers, right? And in the set of whole numbers, one extra element we have, that is 0. Okay. After that, it's integers. Now in the set of integers, we denote integers by I or Z. Okay. In the set of integers, there are positive numbers, and these are actually positive whole numbers, and these are negatives of the whole numbers as well as a 0. So these are, we can say, positive natural numbers, these are negative natural numbers, and this 0 is there. Okay, so suppose we mark a point over here or line over here. So the numbers which are there on the right hand side of 0 are actually positive integers. The numbers which are on the left hand side of 0 are actually negative integer, and 0 is a special integer that is neither negative nor positive. Okay, so positive integers are denoted by I plus, so it's 1 2 3 till infinity. Non-positive integers, if we discuss about non-positive integer, we need to leave all positive integers inclusive of 0. So non-positive integers are -3, -2, -1, 0. Similarly, if we talk about non-negative integers, in that case we have to leave all the negative integers and the series starts from 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the set of non-negative integers. So you should be very clear about all the types of integers. Positive integers, only positive numbers, or we can say natural numbers. Non-positive integers, that means negatives as well as 0, and negative integers means negative integers, and non-negative integers means start from 0 to infinity. Okay, 0 is a special number that is neither negative nor positive. Getting me? Rational numbers. All the numbers of the form p by q where p and q are co-prime integers and q is not equal to 0 are called rational numbers. Okay. So for example, 1 by 3, -4 by 9, 57 by 1, any number. See, all the natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, all of them are rational numbers, right? If we talk about a single simple number, say 3, so 3 can be written as 3 by 1, so it is also a rational number. So any number is the rational number which can be written in p by q format, where q is not equal to 0 and p and q both should be integers, right? Just listen to me carefully. P and q should be integers. In that case, p by q will be a rational number. Okay, and q should not be equal to 0, right? So the rational numbers are precisely the real numbers with decimal expansion that are either terminating, say 3 by 4, that's 0.75. This is a example of terminating decimals. Then non-terminating decimal, suppose this 23 by 11, we can see that's the series 090909 is continuously repeated. That means a block of digit is continuously repeated. Similarly, we can take example of 1 by 3, that's 0.333333. So it is actually 3 is not going to end. Okay, so it's a terminating decimal or non-terminating repeating decimal. In both the cases, the numbers are rational numbers, right? So this is the example of terminating decimal and this is the example of non-terminating but repeating decimal. That means the digits after, or a block of digit is getting repeated again and again. Okay. Now, irrational numbers. The real numbers which are not rational are called irrational numbers. Precisely, these numbers cannot be written in p by q format. In other words, we can call them as surds also, that you might have studied in your junior classes also. So these are precisely the real numbers with decimal expansion that are non-terminating, non-repeating, right? We can take example of root 2, cube root of 5, all this, right? See, root 2 is what? 1.414 and the series go on, right? There is no specific block is there which is getting repeated continuously and the series is not even getting ended. Okay, so that means it's neither terminating, non-repeating. So we call these sort of numbers as irrational numbers. Okay, so that is precisely the difference between irrational numbers and rational numbers, that in case of rational numbers, the decimals are either terminating, or if they are not terminating, they are repeating. Okay, so that is the difference between rational and irrational numbers. One special number is there, that's pi. Generally we use the value of pi as 22 by 7, but that is an approximate value of pi, right? Maximum students are confused for this. See, pi's approximated value is 22 by 7, but its value is actually 3.14 and the series go on. So basically pi is an irrational number, right? Now next is real numbers. The complete set of rational and irrational number is the set of real numbers, right? So friends, all the numbers, whether they are natural, they are prime, composite, rational, irrational, integer, all the numbers are part of real numbers. So this is the biggest set of the numbers, right? Now, we learned natural numbers, we discussed whole numbers, integers, then we discussed rational numbers, then we discussed irrational numbers, okay, and then we discuss real numbers. Real number is the biggest set that includes all these numbers, right? Now, if we talk about rational numbers, so integers, whole numbers and natural numbers, all of them are subset of rational numbers, right? N is subset of Q, W is subset of Q, I is also subset of Q, and all of them are subset of R. Okay, so you should be very clear about it. Now friends, we have discussed all the types of numbers. Now let's see what's a real line. The real numbers can also be expressed in terms of position of a point on the real line. The number line wherein the position of a point relative to the origin represents a unique number and vice versa. All the numbers defined so far follow the order property. That means if there are two numbers A and B, then either A will be less than B, or A equal to B, or A is greater than B. Right? So this is the number line that you can see over here. This is 0. On the right hand side of 0, all the numbers are positive. On the left hand side of 0, all the numbers are negative. And each and every number can be represented on a real number line. Okay. Positive real numbers from 0 to infinity. Negative real numbers minus infinity to 0. And this is 0. Okay. That's R0. In various books, the definition of R0 is given as differently. Sometimes R0 is 0, or sometimes R0 is actually all real numbers except 0. Okay. So friends, so far we have discussed all types of numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers, and the biggest set is real number set. Okay. So real number is the biggest set of numbers, and all the numbers are part of real numbers. If all the numbers are part of real numbers, then there is not even a single number outside the set of real numbers, right? It should be true in that case, but friends, it's not true. There are numbers which are actually not real. If they are not real, that means what? If they are not real, that means they are unreal. Or we can say that these numbers exist in just in our imagination. Now, can you put up at least one example, the number which really does not exist, it just exists in your imagination? That's suppose I give you the example as root of -4. See, you know, root 4 is 2. Okay, but, or we can say root 4 is -2. That means if you multiply -2 with -2, you'll be getting 4, right? -2 into -2 is 4. 2 into 2 is 4. Now can you find out two numbers, or the number should be same, because if we have to take the square root of the number, that means the number should be same. The same number should be multiplied together to get a number. So x into x should be -4, right? So x square is equal to -4. Do we know any number whose square is -4? How do we get -4? By multiplying 2 and -2. And 2 and -2, both of them are different numbers. They are different integers. One is positive and other is negative, right? So x square is equal to -4. That means we don't have any number, if it is multiplied by itself, will produce -4. That means square root of -4, that exists only in our imagination. So it's actually not a real number. So apart from the set of real number being the biggest set of the numbers, we have the numbers which are actually not real, and we call them imaginary numbers. Okay, getting my point? These are the numbers which exist only in our imagination, and we call them as imaginary numbers, right? Precisely, these are square roots of negative numbers. Say square root of 9 square root of, minus 9 square root of minus 16, say similarly square root of minus 25, right? So square root of any negative number, we call them as imaginary numbers. So friends, we just discussed imaginary numbers. Here, root minus 1, we introduce this as I, right? This is known as I, or we can call them as iota. Okay, so these are imaginary numbers. That means root minus 4 will be root of minus 1 into root of 4. So it will be actually 2i or 2 iota. Okay, so this is actually an imaginary number. So whenever you see an iota, that will represent an imaginary number. Now what are complex number? See, a number of the form x plus iy, where x is what? A real number, and y is what? An imaginary number. So a combination of real and imaginary represent complex number. Okay, whether it is addition sign or negative sign, whatever, but a combination of real plus imaginary, real and imaginary, is complex number. We'll study the complex numbers in detail in our complex number topic. As of now, I'll just give you the brief idea of complex numbers. So you should be clear about numbers, basic properties of numbers, and as well basic definitions of numbers, right? Here root I is root minus 1, and we call it as a complex number. It's usually denoted by z, where z is x plus iy, where x is the real part and y is the imaginary part, right? And a complex number can also be represented as z, and c is the name of the set of complex number. Okay, it is superset of real numbers. Here in the set I, omega, this is omega which is given to us. Omega is actually omega cube is 1. So cube root of 1 is also an, the three numbers will be there if we find out the cube root of 1. So out of these three, 2 will be imaginary. Okay, so we'll discuss all this in detail in our complex number session, right? Till here, I'm sure till here you are clear now. So now just we have a quick glance on the number chart. The biggest set, complex number, it's real, it's divided into real and imaginary. Then real numbers are divided into rational and irrational. Rational divided into integers and fractions. Integers are negative integers, 0 as well as positive integers, right? And positive integers, we know them as natural numbers, and 0 as well as positive integers, we know them as whole numbers, right? So this is the brief presentation of all the types of numbers. Okay, so friends, in this session we have discussed almost all types of numbers. In the next session we'll be discussing the basic terminologies related to functions, what are variables, what are constants, what's domain, range, and various other things we'll be discussing about functions. Okay, so I hope you might have enjoyed the session. I'll see you in the next session once again. Bye bye.